Who has read my theories about the SoulsBorne games know my theories revolve around the topics of Hinduism, H.P. Lovecraft, Berserk, and their connection referencing the god Hermes. Still, I always had the feeling that something was missing in the equation, till when 1 year ago a YouTuber called Max Derrat published a video explaining the influence of alchemy in the lore of Dark Souls. I noticed how his theories nicely matched with mine, and from that moment I started researching alchemy. The following videos introduce in our research the concepts of alchemy, and would not have been possible without the contribute that Max gave to the SoulsBorne community. In the first part of this video we are going to discuss about the basic concept of alchemy and how they are integrated in the lore of Dark Souls. In the second part, we are going to specifically analyze the mythical union of opposites called alchemical wedding, discussing its several symbols and how these are integrated in our theory of chaos. Max introduced in his video the three alchemic primes, mercury, sulfur, and salt, which respectively represent the spirit, the soul, and the body. These were proved to be respectively connected to the Dark Souls concept of humanity, soul, and body. We already discussed indeed how the humanity is mentioned to be a spirit. The mythical goal of alchemy is the achievement of the Great Work, a process according which it is possible to generate gold, obtain eternal life, or to ascend to the status of God. The Great Work can be intended in an external way through the realization of the mythical Philosopher's Stone, and therefore using the elements of mercury and sulfur, with salt serving as a catalyst, or in an internal way, by a human who reach a psychological and physical higher state, using the respective spirit and soul, with his body serving as a catalyst. As our analysis concerns the nature of darkness and souls, we will focus on the second one. There are different theories about how to perform the Great Work. In order to start, it is necessary to obtain the prima materia, an element which nature is ambiguous and which is often identified with the soul of the world. From the prima materia must then be separated the spirit and the soul, to unite them again under specific circumstances, using one's body as a catalyst. In this representation of the process, we see the prima materia described as chaos, which gets subdivided in the opposite of spirit and soul, to be then united in a perfect union of elements, symbolized by the Star of David. We can find each of these steps in the lore of Dark Souls. By the beginning of Dark Souls, the Old One has absorbed most of the souls of the world, so that his soul can be considered the soul of the world, and therefore the prima materia. We mentioned in episode 2 and 7 how the first flame is supposed to have been generated by the Old One, which in Demon Souls is mentioned to be a manifestation of chaos. From the first flame appeared the Dark Soul as the spirit and the Lord Souls as the soul. Finally, Aizarith united in her body darkness with her Lord Soul in the ambitious attempt to become a god and transform in the bed of chaos, a being particularly similar to the original Old One. The union of opposite energies attempted by Aizarith is also called in alchemy alchemic wedding. The recurrent symbol referring to an alchemic wedding are usually the dualities of spirit and soul, female and male, moon and sun. The alchemic wedding is the apex of the Great Work, and it is represented through many symbols, of which the constant appear to be the androgynous, the dragon, and Hermes. The androgynous is a being conveying in its body the opposite sexes and astrological powers. We can find examples of these creatures in Gwyndolin, who convey in its body the masculine principle of the sun and the feminine principle of the moon. The hybrid half-dragon, half-god children throughout the Dark Souls series also resemble some of Gwyndolin characteristics, as white skin, white hair, and lizard features, so that these hybrid creatures might be alternative ways in which the alchemic wedding was attempted. As the androgynous, the dragon represented the union of opposite sexes, beside the union of the four elements of alchemy: water, earth, air, and fire, as a dragon can swim, walk, fly, and breathe fire. This explains why chaos, which is about the union of opposites, tend to generate dragons, which phenomena we discussed in episode 6. Another evidence proving dragons to represent the union of opposites is the Archdragon Peak, the only area where both astrological opposites of Moon and Sun are visible. The third symbol of the alchemic wedding is the messenger god Hermes and its caduceus, who, as Max Derrat highlights, represent the connection between the human and the divine. Still in Archdragon Peak, humans try to reach the form of dragon, which according to our evolutionary model is one step closer to the divine form of the Old One, and it is right in this place where we find a subtle reference to Hermes. The name Hermes comes from Herma, which is the Greek term for stone heap, and several stone heaps are scattered all over the Archdragon Peak, where together with the moon, the sun, and the dragons represent a compulsive reference to the alchemic wedding. There are many symbols in the Dark Souls series, and especially Dark Souls 2, referring to the alchemic wedding, and we might discuss them in a future video. As always, I want to thank all the SoulsBorne wikis, which are a great source of information and images. I want to thank again Max Derrat. You will find his video in the description. All the sources for the images will be addressed in the video description. This video is part of a broader project which is based on my book, The SoulsBorne Thesis. You can read it for free on WordPress or support the physical version on Kickstarter. Both of the links are in the description. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye!